Hey, this is Mad Dog from Along for the Ride, and I want to let you know we got something special heading your way on the next episode. You won't want to miss it.
He's Wes Kane.
And he's the Mad Dog.
And I'm not.
And I'm not the Mad Dog. I'm Wes Kane.
You are along for the ride with the Mad Dog and Cole, the Moto Man, Farrell.
Come along for the ride.
Yeah, baby.
I decided to fly through the air and live in the sunlight and enjoy life as much as I could, and that's just what I'm doing.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. Everybody stay calm.
All right. Hey, man, I got to tell you, it's great to see you. I'm really excited to do this episode. This could be possibly our shortest episode ever. But I got to tell you a couple of things about the last episode, which was the Coal 9 Yards Part 2. Um, by the way, before I get there, shout out to our man Evil living in the sunshine and sailing motorbikes through the air. Sing it, preacher.
He sets the tone for the rest of the show. When I hear that intro, it gets me excited.
Amen. Amen. So yeah, interesting note. The Coal 9 Yards Part 2, which is episode
5.
5, I believe. Yeah, a lot of action. The striking Viking herself was so unbelievably touched by that episode. I don't know why, but I didn't go into details. I was like, yeah, okay, cool, good, thank you. So, yeah, that was super rad. You did a great job, man.
Well, yeah, I just have that effect on women, so it's pretty natural that that would happen. But
I've seen that. Yeah.
but in all seriousness, I did um, without without getting too dramatic. I did get a lot of good feedback from some people and some people in the industry and stuff that said, made me laugh, made me cry, made me chuckle. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, then that checked off my list because if you know me, I like to make people laugh. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Well, and it's funny because that's what the Vikings said too, was like, man, I laughed, I really laughed, I cried. Um, and man, that's what it's about, man. Just getting the stories out and knowing what's out there. I mean, we've only really scraped like the first layer of callus off of Cole Farrell, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So we got some exciting stuff coming up down the pipe that I'm working on for future people. Maybe some guests coming up. But this one, I think last time we talked, I was just getting ready for American Flat Track, the return to Castle Rock, TT. And I didn't realize they hadn't been to Castle Rock, Washington since like 2004, 2012, I think, man.
see, that's nuts because they kept hyping up the return of it,
Yeah,
and I knew that it had been gone, but stupidly I figured like, okay, well, probably the last time was 2019, right? And then
right.
and then now they're back. So, but I didn't realize what a big deal it actually was.
Yeah, yeah, huge deal. And I'm going to tell you, man, going right into it, they had the AMA Amateur Nationals on Friday, and they ran the short track. Um, and so that was time consuming. No, actually, it was really good. They had everything from literally from like kids on 50s running the flat track to 65s to your favorite four-stroke 100s, 125s, whatever they were, something like that.
Epic.
Yeah, all the way up to amateur amateur V twin and AMA Pro V twin.
Wow, yeah. So they had a nice vast array of classes.
Yeah, I think they probably ran um I don't remember. Oh, I think it was over 40 heat races, over 40 qualifiers.
Holy cow! Dang.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, it
hopefully
was.
everybody got their fill in, but my goodness.
Yeah, it was a long day, but man, it was pretty cool, and it was extra cool. They had a rule, AFT, American Flat Track. You'll hear me say AFT, people. That stands for American Flat Track, not alcohol, firearms, and tobacco. Um, so, anyways, AFT made a rule that none of the AFT pros could ride that short track pro race.
Good. I actually really appreciate that.
Yeah, I thought it was great because there's a lot of guys that would love to have come out and taken the whatever the cash was. It was significant. I don't remember what the grand prize was, but a fair amount of cash on the line. And, you know, if you had a better chance than everybody else, you'd be jumping in there for sure. So I thought that was pretty cool. So Friday, yeah, Friday was pretty rad. They had all those AMA nationals, I guess they call them now, which was cool. Saturday, holy cow, dude! They got the TT going. Got the track. The track was beautiful. The weather was unbelievably good considering we're in the Pacific Northwest. Dude, I mean, sunny 80s, real high 80s. Whew. Yeah, it was almost hot, like for me.
Yeah,
And
right. Yep.
like right now it's at home, which I'm at home in my office, or whatever you want to call it. My studio, sorry. Um, it's like 105 degrees out right now. So, and I'm wearing a shorts and a shirt. So,
At
I
8
mean,
o'clock at night. Yep.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So sorry to derail this, but real quick before we move on. So
yeah.
set the scene really quick. So Castle Rock, how big is the actual oval itself if you're running circle track?
The dirt oval is a quarter mile.
Okay, so it's a full quarter mile, and then obviously they ran the TT setup. Now,
Correct.
how now was the short course also a TT, or was the short course oval racing?
The short course, AMA National was just the oval.
Got
And
it.
then
Okay,
Sunday, Sunday they ran the AMA National TT.
got it. So Friday, Saturday was oval, Sunday was TT.
Yeah, no, no, no. Friday was the AMA National Oval, a short track. Saturday was the AFT program, TT. Sunday was the AMA Nationals TT.
Got it. Okay, I couldn't have got that more mixed up front, but okay, good. I got it now. So when
That's
you're
all right.
talking
Not
short
that
track, I wasn't
confusing.
sure if you were talking a eighth mile bull ring or what. So thank you for explaining that.
Yeah, yeah, no, no worries at all. I'm hoping, speaking of short tracks, and this is just a like segue, you left me a segue and I'm jumping on. Um, Not this coming weekend, next weekend, Labor Day weekend, I'll be in Springfield,
Oh,
Illinois
no
for the
way.
Springfield Mile. And last year on Friday night, they ran the Springfield Short Track Challenge, and it was like an 8th mile bull ring. And they had all the singles, the AFT, what is it, Parts Unlimited AFT singles presented by Kicker Performance Audio, um, ran the short track. Dude, so exciting. Like tight, 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 man, and fast. It was almost speedway.
Wow, that's fighting words for those speedway guys. I think
Yeah,
you may have just
right.
drew blood, but
Yeah, well, it was exciting. It was really exciting. There wasn't near the slideways, um, but those guys were laying pipe, I'll tell you. So, anyways, that's just won't. I don't know if they're doing that again this year. Um, I haven't had a chance to talk to Jared Mees and his wife, who now own that track, so or own that event. So um, we emailed a little bit earlier today about getting set up there, but can't wait to talk to them. We managed to say hi to each other in Sacramento last weekend for like 10 seconds. So
Oh yeah,
his
talk about the
his
two busiest men in motorsports trying to say hi.
Yeah, right. It was funny. It was funny. But anyways, back to Castle Rock. Yeah, American Flat Track ran the TT on Saturday. And man, I mean, people Google Castle Rock, Washington. And please note that that track, it's literally on the banks of the Cowlitz River,
Oh wow.
which that track was wiped out in when Mount St. Helens blew its top.
Wow. That's pretty remarkable
Yeah,
history.
yeah, and it's back, right? So you're literally right on the banks of the Cowlitz River run right behind the backstretch of the track. You can't see it because it's Pacific Northwest and there's 80,000 trees in the way, but um, no, the AFT program was insane. It was good. Um, Early in the day, I got to go over and say hi to some of the pros and hang out, have lunch, just visit a little bit. Um, and I, of course, got to, I caught JD Beach, because it was like I've been trying to catch him the last couple of races and haven't been able to. I've actually been trying to catch him since Texas, because for those of you who don't know what happened at Texas, um, I was at Texas Motor Speedway for American Flat Track while my co-host and producer, Mr. Cole Farrell, was getting married.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
I tried to catch JD in Texas to sing Cole and Devin best wishes, and couldn't catch him. He's talk about a busy guy.
hey, that's all right. You gave me Ralph Shaheen, and I got to show all my groomsmen that because we all watch Supercross. So
All
that was
right.
a big hit. And if I ever meet
Yeah,
Ralph Shaheen someday, I'm going to thank him. And be like, hey, that was a great video. I almost got JD Beach though. Can you imagine? And he'll say, oh, cool.
yeah, yeah. He'd be like, "That's Rab. What's wrong with just me?"
Well, no, I love
Yeah.
that guy.
He's got a great sense of humor. So, but yeah, I managed to catch up with JD and talk to him for a little bit, and he was pretty excited at the possibility of adding another kicker bullfrog to his collection, which the winners of the Super Twins get when they win the race. They get either the Kicker Cush NC Bluetooth noise canceling headphones or the Bullfrog. And when he won Peoria, he got headphones.
Oh, hell yeah.
And the headphones are great, but yeah, exactly. I have a set right there too. Um, he's like, they're great, but I really want another Bullfrog.
Well, you better
So
win more, son. No.
so yeah, and if you're not new to AFT, American Flat Track, of late, JD's pretty hard to beat on a TT. Um, and he proved that again. So man, great racing all day. No real major incidents. Nobody got majorly injured. There was one crash where a guy got hurt a little bit, but the track had some greasy spots, and really these guys are used to slinging it down the front stretch at 140 miles and pitching it into a corner, um, not slinging it down the front stretch at 70 miles an hour, slinging it into a corner, and then all of a sudden the big sweeping left-hander turns into a really tight left-hander that turns into a hairpin right-hander to a jump.
Yeah, those are
So
two things that you don't normally see in most flat track.
yeah, and
Plus, you
they
got to
were
learn how to
bringing, they
use a
did a
front
great,
brake, you know?
yeah, they actually put the front brakes back on the bikes. Um, so yeah, no, there was some stellar racing. From my viewpoint, I didn't get really, I could see the Jumbotron better than I could see the track. I could see one section of the track right before the start finish. So, and I got to walk up there, but holy cow. So, Castle Rock seats 5,000 in the grandstands.
Nice.
The opening ceremonies were at 7 p.m. By 5:30 p.m., the Castle Rock racetrack is in the fairgrounds. So the AFT and the fair put an agreement together to open a whole nother section of field close to the track to allow standing room only, which allowed another 500 to 600 people
That's
because they were
so cool.
completely sold out
Wow.
and they filled it. So, I mean, it was, dude, I know to people that go to Supercross where you're whatever 50, 60, 70,000 fans, 5,500 people doesn't seem like a lot, but on a little short track like that in the middle of nowhere, Washington, uh, it's huge, absolutely huge. And it was great. Stellar crowd, engaged, excited. uh, all the bike parking was right behind where my booth was set on the other side of the fence. And so I kind of had a private bike show.
Nice.
And yeah, there were two guys that were nice enough to park close to the fence, that were riding original Zeds, original KZs, KZ 900 in green and lime green. I'm guessing about 79, and KZ 1000 in orange and gold, which would have been about a 70, I think, six, maybe 70, something like that. So yeah, man, I was like, oh my, because I had a Z.
Yeah.
So
You're probably trying to lick them through the fence.
yeah, I really wanted to just leave and go take pictures of them, but I have responsibilities. That responsibility thing. Um, so no, but it was great racing. The big bikes, the productions, production twins, the big bike, which also, so the production twins and the super twins, as I understand it, I think in 2023 will become one class.
Wow. Interesting. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
hmm.
they're really reworking the rules to get a much more competitive class. Um,
Okay, that makes sense. So they'll probably do some limitations as far as the twins go and close that gap with the production, huh?
Yeah, I think a big part of it was in the Super Twins. Indians kind of had their way for 5 years roughly. And when they came into the sport, they came in with the agreement, as I understand it, that they had, so many years to get with the program. And they had some extra gimmies, if you will,
Gotcha. Okay.
because they were coming in on a factory level. Um, I don't think anybody that agreed to all that really thought that Indian Motor Company would basically develop, a complete building that was dedicated to flat track research and racing. Um, so they had a lot better and more researched, more refined opportunities and equipment, to be faster. And they had, as I understand it, they had a little more extra room with the rules. Um, and
Interesting.
that, yeah, and that's getting cut back over the last year and a half, and you're seeing it this year. As a matter of fact, Yamaha won Sacramento, which I'll get to. So,
Yeah, real quick,
um,
I was gonna say it's, Brian Smith was I can't say fully dominant, but pretty dominant on the Kawasaki, and obviously Harley and them were trading wins. Well, then Indian got up to speed, and it kind of seemed like everybody else sort of took their ball and went home after that. So
yeah, exactly, exactly. And so we're trying to get that back, and like the Harley, their factory program is done, is ended. They're not doing a factory program. So, shout out to guys like um, Lattice, Lattice Racing, the Lattice HD guys, um, who are really, really super nice guys. Um, and we've one of them has a place here in Havasu and lives here when he's not on the road traveling, and the other one's up in the Pacific Northwest. So Castle Rock was a real kind of home shot for them. Um,
nice.
so that was really cool, and those guys are just super nice guys, and the yeah, and then mentioning Yamaha, I mean they had some really really fast bikes. They just I mean Yamaha won last week on a TT, you
Yep.
know. So and the Turner Racing Honda won the TT singles, Parts Unlimited AFT singles presented by Kicker Performance Audio. Um, Won the TT Jesse Dalton Gautier or Goddard, something like that.
Go TA something.
He's been doing great, and the singles or the productions, um, Jesse Janish, I think, won. And I think he's on a Harley, but I'm not sure. I want to say he is, but I can't. I don't quote me on that. I know he's a Vance and Hines bike, and I automatically associate Vance and Hines with Harley, so
That's
I
pretty
could be told.
safe. That's a pretty safe bet.
It could be. You know what? I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna points check myself. Um, I'm gonna fact check me.
We're all about honesty here on Along for the Ride. So we got to keep our stats in check.
That's it. He is on a Harley. So, uh, yeah. And so he won the TT. And of course, JD, I would not bet against him. Not only is he a rad dude and I really like him, but, I had this discussion with one of the Estenson guys, um, one of the dads, I think it was Dallas Daniels' dad, last weekend, and I was like, the thing is, the TTs, it's hard to rule out JD because he's got that experience. I mean, you take him, throw him on a motorbike, the dude can ride. You throw him on Moto America, a road race bike. He's won races, so he's really got a lot of all around talent, So TT's fit him. I would love someday to see him get like a mile win. That would be so huge for him, but it would be so huge for a lot of guys. So, there's me fangirling about JD. So
Hey, you're preaching
uh,
the choir over here. I'm
yeah, I
JD
know.
Beach Fan Club.
Well, that's the thing. I told him, I said, I gotta get a selfie. I said, I'm not that guy. You know me better than this, but I gotta get a selfie to send it to to my best friend Cole, I said he also produces and is co-hosts my podcast. So he's like, "Oh, right on, yeah, let's do it." So
Yeah, see, that's the ultimate guide right there. You say this is for somebody else. I'm not that guy. Get in
yeah,
here. Yep.
he knows that. So, um, but yeah. Anyways, the um, yeah. So Castle Rock, dude, huge, great racing, good crowd. Uh, I don't think the ambulance ever left the racetrack, either one. So that's a real bonus. Um, long days, whoo, long days, but and then Sunday, um, part of our deal with the promoter was we would stick around AFT merch, and myself and a few other vendors would stick around for Sunday. And I'm like, why not get to watch some TT, so more amateur TT, which was very entertaining. I think the most impressive, I mean, the guys on the big bike, the big V twins, pretty impressive for amateurs. Um, but the guys that surprised me, that I was most impressed with, were the kids on the like 65s and the kids on the, I'm guessing they were like 125s, the
Okay.
four-stroke bikes. Um, because some of those kids, dude, they had it figured out. They had the hot shoe rolling, man.
Really, that's cool. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it was super cool to see, probably a 12-year-old kid um setting the bike in and getting the leg out and running the corner well,
Yeah.
not just kind of like sitting up on the bike, not trying to speedway it, real flat tracking it. It was really cool. It surprised me.
Yeah, that's really commendable because I think motocross and especially desert is the easiest thing to quote unquote go practice, especially down here in SoCal and Arizona where you're at and everything.
Yeah.
I if someone said, "Hey, let's go practice TT or let's go practice flat track," it's like even around here, like you have Paris and that's it. So if you're doing well up there in the PNW, I'm like, props to you because you're not doing this in the winter, and who knows how much you get to practice this even in the summer. So yeah, that's really
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was really cool. So, and some other cool highlights from that part, I got to my daughter and son-in-law. My daughter's finishing school up in Portland. Sorry, he's not my son-in-law. Her boyfriend uh are living there while she's finishing her school, and it was only about an hour from their house up to the hotel. So they came up like Thursday afternoon, and we hung out for a bit and had dinner, and it was really good to see them. I hadn't seen them for a long time, so got to see some family there, and then we wrapped everything up Sunday, and Monday morning. The old Living Loud Tour 2022 continued, and I took the old grinder. I call my truck the grinder, because she just keeps grinding miles. Um, and so we headed south and for Sacramento, but I kind of took a reroute over to Bend, Oregon, and just walked in on my daughter and two grandkids there, and spent some time visiting with them, and then went and stayed entire day with my parents again, um, and got to have coffee with Tuesday, Monday evening. Yeah, Monday evening coffee, um, with my brother, who I hadn't seen in, a year. So that was rad. And yeah, it was super cool. Got to see some friends of mine uh, in Bend, and then loaded up early Wednesday morning and headed towards Sacramento. Stopped at a really, really cool little casino stop just north of Sacramento, because I couldn't load the trailer in till the next day. Got the trailer dropped at the legendary Sacramento Mile. Um, Man, yeah, and then that was, I don't know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday set up. Got all the base set up, pretty much everything set up. Saturday race day, got in way early because I had to move all my displays and stuff from the trailer out in the parking lot to the booth space. So it made for a long day, but we got her done, and holy cow, Sacramento Mile, man, 140 miles an hour, 100 100 and I don't think they were going as fast as last year. I think last year they hit like 139 going into the corner.
Yep. And then pitch it sideways and hold it at
Yeah.
100 through the corner. Yep.
Yep, yeah. And this year, I don't think they got quite that fast. Really fought the racetrack all day. Um, and it was hot. It was like HAWT sweaty hot, dude. Like 104 degrees in Sacramento.
So when it's hot like that, does the track not hold the moisture as well and then it gets rougher? Or what do you know, like what happens to where they're fighting it?
Oh yeah. So a couple of things. One, you would think when it's hot and they've got lots of moisture on the track, lots of water on the track, that it would blow up. But one of two things happens usually is you'll start a blue like this happened going into turn one in practice. It would start to blue up, and basically on the rundown, if you will, into the corner, it would blew up. And then where they were starting to pick up on the throttle, it would dust up.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it was like going away. And then all of a sudden there'd be like a blue slick spot right in the middle of the corner. So, and they had put uh, several 100,000 gallons of water on that track um, in California uh, to get it ready over several days. And I believe 2 weeks earlier they had had a big horse race during the fair. And so of course the horses, I don't believe, I don't know shit about horse racing. Um, but I don't believe they run on a packed surface.
No, I think it's usually just from what I see on TV and the casinos and stuff, it's soft, super, super soft in
Yes,
comparison to what the bike guys are on. And they
right.
certainly wouldn't have them go out there even after, yeah, I'm sure they would blade it and maybe till it a little bit and then throw water on it for the bike guys. But yeah, it's no way they start that soft.
Yeah, no, that's the point I was making, was it was so soft before that, they were having to have water and run it and run it, and they're running trucks and water trucks and packers, not the big roller drum packers, but the kind with the little smoothie tires.
Oh, yep, yep.
Um, and I'll tell you what, watching those go down the front stretch gives you a real, they don't have suspension, and their tires are like filled with calcium or something. So watching them go down the front stretch gives you a real good indication of how not smooth that surface is.
Yeah, it's very misleading. I think people seeing it on TV wouldn't believe how much you're getting kicked in the ass going down the straightaway.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's crazy how rough it was, and so yeah, Sacramento was a 1 day. Last year it was a double header. This year, the way it worked out with the schedule, they could only do a 1 day. So packed there in Saturday, and full house, um, just great. And Saturday was my buddy Scotty Dubler, Scotty D, who's one of the voice of American Flat Track. He's been the voice of Kicker AMA Pro Arena Cross, Kicker Arena Cross Summer Series, Kicker uh, Enduro Cross, and a bunch of that. Um, and now he's doing the American flat track thing, and actually was doing, uh, basically announcing, color commentating, until I believe it was 2 years ago. The TV decided that he was doing a good job and they wanted him on TV, which I tease him. He's a guy with the big smile and perfect hair. If you've seen him, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's worse things to call somebody.
Yeah, but he's super rad. And then they have, Kristen Beat works the track, who is, I mean, probably the one of the hardest working motorsports reporters, let alone female motorsports reporters in the industry. And she's, you see you see a lot of like the football sidelines commentaries and stuff, and if it's not on the cue card, they don't know what to say. And I'm not hating on anybody in specific. I'm just saying that tends to be a trend. Kristen is the opposite. She is so motorsports ingrained. I mean, she rides, she grew up riding. Um, Her brother, Ryan Beat, is
Yeah.
a very, very successful off-road racer. Um, and so it's a family thing, but I mean, she knows, I hate to admit this, she knows way more about American flat track than I do. Um, Thankfully, she is very, very, very super nice. I call her sis. Um,
Yeah, she's very well respected in the pits. I think people really do enjoy talking to her. I think people on their worst days would be more willing to talk to her than someone like a Rutledge Wood sticking a mic in their face or something.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, and she's awesome. So I got to see her, and then Ralph Shaheen, Scotty D. It was his birthday. So that was cool. I sang him happy birthday across the parking lot, really loud and obnoxious. Um, so that was kind of rad, and for me, um, I'm not sure he liked it, but I didn't really care. Um, and then I got to wish Ralph a happy birthday. He stopped by the kicker booth actually for a visit, and we were able to BS a little bit. And today is Tuesday,
Yes.
and so today is actually Ralph's birthday. So
Well, happy birthday, Ralph Shaheen.
yeah, absolutely. We should have started with that. Golly, I'm never going to be any good at this stuff.
Next year on episode 305, when it's Ralph Shaheen's birthday, we'll make sure to get it in right at the top of the damn show.
Right. um, So yeah, anyways, dude, great racing, fast, lots of action. Nobody went on an ambulance ride. Nobody did the wee 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 wee. Wee. Thankfully, thank God for a safe night. And um, the guys were fast, and Dallas Daniels pulled out the big legendary Sacramento mile win on the Super Twins on a Yamaha.
That's awesome. Yeah, they've had a really good run lately.
Yeah, Estenson's been working their butt off. Um, they it, and I mean, with Indian being, if you ask the Indian guys, they're not happy with the new package, with the new rules package. If you ask everyone but the Indian guys, they're not happy with the new rules package, because they want more and they
Yep.
want Indian to have less. And Indian wants what they had and wants everybody else to have what they used to have. So, it's kudos to AFT and their team, Gene, Cameron, all those guys for like really, I guess, keeping the peace while getting the race back in the race.
That's what I was going to say. I don't envy having that job, being in the middle of everybody. No way.
Yeah, no, no. So Dallas won on the Ettinson Yamaha. Um, Bruner won on the I think he's at Estenson also on the singles. Let me look that up. I don't want to. I've got yeah. Trevor Bruner won in the singles presented by Kicker Performance Audio, and Jesse Janish again put in the work on the production twins for the W for HD, you know. So really legendary Sacramento mile. And there wasn't an Indian on top of any of the podiums. So, you know, times are changing, I think.
Yeah,
Uh, you know, and that's good though, because we definitely you need competition, right?
absolutely. Yeah, it there's a saying, and I'm going to butcher right now, but it's whatever, competition drives spirit of the sport, something like that. If you had a monopoly, it would be garbage. You wouldn't want to watch it anyway.
Right, right, for
Like
sure.
Formula One the last 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I man, don't get me wrong. I love Formula One. I it's just I don't love any kind of racing where you know the only pass for the lead was made in the pits.
Yeah, it's an undercut or an overcut. It's not on the track. It's
Yeah,
your
it
pit
doesn't.
strategy.
It just, you know, they're cool cars. The technology is insane, you know, but you know, it's not Senna. It's not Villeneuve sliding it, flat tracking it around corners in the rain and still running faster than everybody else, you know. It's not, I mean, it's just not the way it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't get me wrong. I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh, you know, I hate change. I don't hate change at all. I think change is great. I hate overregulation.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great that two drivers a year aren't dying anymore. Like obviously it's amazing that how far the safety and everything's come,
Oh yeah.
but it's just yeah, up until this last year, and I'll give this year the credit. I mean, it was just Mercedes monopoly, Red Bull running two. So this year now, when you have Red Bull and Ferrari mixing it up in the top two, and then McLaren getting up there, and now Mercedes is in the mid of the field. Finally, they're doing something right, I would say. Just like to bring it all back around AFT with trying to get the rules, everybody back on the same page.
Yeah. Yeah. Get the competition back to racing, you know. So yeah, no, I agree. I think that's, you know, I have unfortunately I have not been able to watch, you know, watch my hashtags, hashtag I work weekends, you know. I don't get to watch a lot of motorsports if I'm not seeing it in person or live streaming it, you know, because I will actually, if I can't see the AFT race, I have the AFT app and I will live stream like scoring and timing and stuff just so I know what's going on, you know?
I would be doing the same thing, watching the times.
Yep, yep. And, you know, it's like, it's funny because when we were talking about the track, the lap times consistently as the day as the day got later, consistently got slower.
That's that's actually super interesting. That's pretty cool. It adds a dynamic to the racing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But then you know you got guys like you know Daniels. I think um, 5 laps to go ran the fastest lap he'd run all day or something. You know.
Go figure was getting comfortable at the end of the moto.
Well, he had the Mile King literally on his like Jared Mees, who's like, I mean, he is the current mile master.
He's the guy.
He is the guy. And more mile wins in current era than anybody, I think. Like 9 in the last year, something like that. It's crazy. Anyways, he's another guy that like you don't bet against him when you go to a mile. And he was all over him. And kudos to the rookie for keeping like a saber tooth tiger off of him for literally laps after lap after lap, you know.
I would love to see his heart rate monitor after that. Talk about
Yeah,
getting chased by a tiger, dude. You probably slept good after that race.
I bet he did. Well, I would imagine, judging by the size of the party, I would imagine that he probably slept pretty good.
Yeah. And
So
I was trying to look it up quickly on my phone here and trying to figure out who exactly it was, but my only relation to Sacramento Mile is from the original On Any Sunday when they hyped it up the whole movie and they would keep coming back to the flat track. Back then it was Grand National. And I remember Mert Lawwell had to win Sacramento to win the championship, and he broke his throttle cable and had to walk it back to the pits, and somber music plays. And I was trying to look up who the rider was, but I remember somebody sending it into the hay bales and having to send the ambulance, and they taped his nose up and taped his boot up, and he ended up lining back up. But yeah, that was my memories coming to me when you're saying nobody had to get carted off at Sacramento, which is a great thing.
yeah. Well, and you know, with the modern improvements in safety and all that, I mean, they definitely use the air fence a few times. But that being said, the air fence did its job, you know.
Yep, that's what it's there for.
Yeah, there was definitely you know, some intense moments like I can't remember who it was that went down and hard enough to set off his airbag in
Yep.
his uh backpack.
Yeah, the Alpine Stars
Yeah,
backpack. Yeah.
yeah. So for those of you who don't know, it's a newer innovation in safety for high-speed riders. And when you impact the ground within, I don't know, really, really, really fast,
Couple hundredths of a second.
airbag inflates, I believe, around your back, shoulders, and neck or something.
Torso. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Huge, huge safety innovation. And you know, the flat track guys are wearing basically leathers with neck bolster, much like the moto, what is it, moto GP and moto america guys, road race guys are wearing very similar type setup. So
Yep. Yep.
and they were like, yeah, they got to figure out how to go back and how to get him deflated and set up so he can be in the next practice or whatever it was. So it was that was kind of funny. And then um, they were uh, one of the heats. They were lining up, and I believe it was one of the Hondas rolled out, and his rear brake rotor or brake caliper fell off.
Oh, that happens to the best of us.
Yeah, and so he was like, they were trying to fix it, and then they called. You know, they give him, was it like 2 minutes or something, and then they're like, okay, time's up, and so he just ran the bike up to where he was supposed to be in the grid and jumped on it, and he was going to race, and the other two, the rider on each side of him, literally like pulled out in front of him, and we're like, we're not racing with this. He's got no brakes.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's pretty funny. There's a little mutiny going on to
yeah, yeah. I mean, they were ready, literally, like the 30-second board was up. They were holding the 30-second board up, and these guys pulled out and like made a V in front of the start gate to start, and we're like, nope, we're not going.
might be a little tense in the pits after,
I
but
would imagine. I would imagine there's probably some words. Unfortunately, I was on the other side of the track. So, um, but anyways, yeah, so that was Sacramento. Just good times, good racing. Got to see everybody. Actually had a little bit of time. Um, got to go over to the Mission Foods hospitality tent, um, have lunch and visit, the people that set all that up and run all that travel with the series or American Flat Track people are just like family to me, and so it was good to just kind of have a little bit of visit time. Um, and I'm really thankful for them because they do keep me fed, um, at least once during the race weekend. So that's kind of nice. And then, I got to see a lot of the racers while I was over there early in the day, um, helping them get the Kicker Performance Audio PA system set up inside the hospitality. Um, that's when I ran into Jared for like 10 seconds. Hey, how you doing? Hey, good. How are you? Good. And they were having, I believe it was the riders council meeting.
Interesting. Okay.
So, the like probably riders safety council, I don't know. But I know once I got things hooked up and turned the music up, they asked me to turn it down a little.
That's
Um,
not living loud.
so because they were trying to have a meeting, I'm like, whoop, my bad. So, but
Well,
no,
yeah, don't undersell it. I mean, you've been gone for 20, you were gone 25 days total.
something like that. The 27th of last month, whatever month that was, to
Yeah,
the night of the 21st. So that's 21, like 25. Yeah,
that's
something like
impressive. And to put that into context, it was like we recorded Coal 9 Yards Part 1 when you were leaving on this trip.
yeah.
That's like, to me, that's been so long and you've been gone that whole time. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's that's the thing. Coming along for the ride, people are gonna get me in different locations, different situations. Hopefully the next one, hopefully we can at least get that recorded here before I head back on the road Tuesday, next week, uh, for American Flat Track Springfield Mile doubleheader. Um, because then directly after that, and of course, hopefully we can get something done while I'm on the road there because that's what all this is about is, the road trip. So,
Yep.
um, it's really cool. Uh, those of you who don't know, my truck, my personal truck, is all wrapped in my own tribute to Evil Knievel, Americana, and Kicker. A fair amount of Kicker branding on it also, and so I drove all the way home from Sacramento Sunday. It's like 607-ish miles roughly, um, which, normally isn't that big a deal. Like if I'm on interstates at 75-mile-an-hour speed limit, 700 miles is a good day, right? Um, 55 wind towing makes for a really long 607 miles, and um, honestly, I'm afraid to break the speed limit too much. So it's like I really don't want to get a ticket. So, and I'm driving a fully like custom truck. So it's like, hey, look at me. Um, so I made for a long day, but about some cool stuff on the way home. One, if you need a deal on a used Boeing 747,
I do.
where roughly 500 are. Two, I got through Barstow, and I'm always looking at all the roads and all the side roads because you're always talking about that stuff because you're such a desert rat and you're going to Barstow, and I'm out here, and I'm out on Kelbecker, and it finally clicked this trip. I don't know how many trips I've been down the 40 from Barstow to here, but this trip it finally clicked. Oh, Kelbecker, yeah, okay, goes south and actually goes straight across to like Palm Desert, basically, and not or Palm Springs kind of
Yep.
area. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh, that's that's okay, duh. So that was cool. And anyways, I'm cruising down the 40 and this semi rolls up on me. And the guy rolls his window, passenger window down and honks his air horn. And I roll my window down and he goes, "You got kicker in that?"
Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I do. He's like, "Nice." So I had to crank it up and get the bass slapping, and he was really digging it. It was quite the deal. So um, first time that has happened. Fuel stops always take a little extra time because
Yeah.
people love the Americana, the red, white, and blue, and gets a lot of attention. Um, and I'm really grateful, super grateful to our partners, Kicker Performance Audio, kicker.com, for their input on the wrap also on my vehicle and their help. And of course Gator Wraps who actually helped me design it and then put it on for me and did an unbelievably good job with it. Really, really grateful. Rod and his crew, I know they're in Orange County, they're in Ontario, and they have an office right here in Lake Havasu. So,
Yep. Right on the
uh,
south side. Yep.
yep, yep. So, sorry. So I'm really, really stoked that it gets so much attention and even like when I went to the Blue Beacon on truck wash, for those of you that don't know, um, heading to Sacramento. So when I stopped for the night down south of Redding, and kind of northern California, although you don't call that northern, but
Oh, I
it
do.
is.
Yeah. No, don't worry. I do.
So I stopped at the Blue Beacon before I went to the hotel to get truck and trailer washed up and get some of the cricket murder scene from my drive up, and then Doomfest and Castle Rock washed off of everything. Um, and the guys at the truck wash were just like, wow, they were so stoked. And so I left some I got out of the truck so I could go in and pay and use the bathroom and all that good stuff while they washed it. But I, I left some tractor wrap playing on the Sony
Uh-huh.
through the kickers and had the sub, basically my bass knob turned all the way up. Um, and those guys, they were so fun. You probably saw the video of them. I Snapchatted you of them
Uh-huh.
like dancing around the truck. Yeah, the bass was slapping.
Yeah. I
So
almost broke my phone.
yeah, they thought it was pretty cool. But anyway, um, yeah, so loaded up from Sacramento. That was a long day because I had to load up, pack up Saturday night after racing. Um, and I was actually on the road Sunday morning, like pulling out of the fairgrounds at 7:00. So I gone back to the hotel. I couldn't take my trailer to the hotel, so I had to come back to the fairgrounds in the morning, pick up my trailer, of course, check all the tires, check everything, blah blah
Wheel
blah.
bearings,
Yeah,
important stuff.
yeah. Yeah, I check the wheel bearings every time I stop. I'm feeling those hubs and just shout out to Chili for replacing those bearings when I had that downtime before Doomfest up in Bend. Um, Dude, things still running good, still nice and cool, even coming across Mojave, Tehachapi, Mojave, and down through into Barstow. 106 degrees Sunday afternoon. I was running a cool 64 miles an hour on cruise control. And man, the hubs, the bearings never ever got hot. So
That's a
I,
nice peace of mind.
yes, for sure. Especially heading out for, not that this trip wasn't long, because I think I ended up logging somewhere around 50, 5,100 miles over like 25, 26 days.
That's
Um,
impressive. That's pretty funny.
yeah. Well, back in March when we were still planning on doing this, I did a 27-day trip. I logged 7,200 miles.
That's nuts. That's honestly more than I'll drive this year. You're laughing, but I'm like, no, I'm looking at the odometer in my truck today and I'm like, it's been like that a while.
Maybe it's broken,
That'd be good. It would keep the resale value up.
right? So, anyways, I think that's about it. Had a nice, safe trip home, and looks like here in beautiful Havasu, we may have a little monsoon brewing for tonight. We got some really cool stuff coming, hopefully for the next episode that you and I'll have to talk about. Maybe tomorrow we'll get on the phone and get things figured out or something.
No matter what, it'll be cool. How about that?
Gonna be rad. Yeah, for sure. So, and then I'm hoping to get a few people. I got to get better about doing some voice recordings, like you tell me to. But I'm gonna work on that when I go to Springfield. I promise.
You're plenty busy, so no feelings are
Yeah.
hurt, but it would be
Um,
cool.
yeah. So obviously, want a quick shout out to you know our sponsors, our partners, if you will, Kicker Performance Audio, Kicker Marine Audio. Man, thank you guys so much. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the headphones and just looking after me, the swag, constant swag, um, and looking after Cole, my boy. And yeah, and of course, Bomber Floating Eyewear, Tommy the Bomber, um, the Levi's of sunglasses, everybody should have 4 pairs, you know. Um, get them in different colors. Get all the same color with different colored lenses.
Mix
Uh,
it up.
yeah, yeah, it's a super rad thing. They float. The other great thing is you can get pretty much any lens in a OSHA ANSI approved safety lens. Um, so like my dailies, that mono series that I don't have on right now, uh, are literally a polarized safety lens, and they float.
It's the triple crown of sunglasses.
Right,
Where else are you
right.
going to get that? Nowhere. BomberEyewear.com.
BomberEyewear.com, Kicker.com. Thank you so much. Be sure and subscribe if you have not. Well, not subscribe. Go to Instagram and follow at the Premix Podcast. Catch up with what Cole's doing. Are you going to do the Barstow 300?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out right now. We're in the middle of busy season. Believe it or not, this isn't my full-time job, but we're in the busy season of my full-time job right now in the exciting world of life insurance. So hopefully at least go out the Sunday, but I would preferably like to go the Friday. That's when my favorite classes are running, the buggies and the light trucks and stuff. So
Right.
hopefully.
All the good stuff. Yeah, yeah, for sure. So yeah, well, hopefully you get out there and get it checked out, man. Is that this weekend or
The,
next week?
the, the California 300,
Yeah.
that's mid-October. It's the 12th and 13th,
Oh, okay.
or
It's a
12th to
ways.
16th. Yep.
I've seen so much about it recently that they're doing a great job of promoting it, on social media. I thought it was much closer than that. So
They just opened up registrations. I think they're getting the hype primo
uh
right now. So
gotcha. So yeah, other than that, we'll have a new show coming soon. This is episode 6
Yes, sir.
of Along for the Ride. Thank you so much to my producer and co-host, Cole, the man, the myth, the legend, Farrell.
You. It's a pleasure to do it.
Dude. And thank you, everybody. I've been getting updates on the stats, and super rad that you guys are engaging and downloading episodes. Thank you so much. So far, Doomfest is our big one. So, I'm hoping that Cole 9 Yards Part 2 will exceed Doomfest. It's definitely a do not miss. So at that rate, I think we should probably sign off. Thanks again, Kicker Performance Audio, kicker.com, and Bomber Floating Eyewear at bombereyewear.com. Thank you both. Thank you, Cole. Appreciate you greatly, my brother.
Thank you, big bro.
And I think we are wrapped, wouldn't you say?
I'm good with it.
All right, Mad Dog out.